Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Let's Talk Photography. And I am your host, Robert Silver. And this week, we're going to be discussing the reality, the day to day madness of a professional photographer. Okay, so let's get into it, shall we? All right. So, as I said, we're going to be discussing this week what is a professional photographer, what it takes, and whether you should be one, right? Because it's not made for everybody. Also, some mistakes, pros, cons, etc. I'm going to be discussing that with a special guest that I will introduce in just a moment. But right now, let's get the commercial stuff out the way, shall we? First thing is, all right, if you aren't already, shame on you, but you should be following me, not one place, but everywhere. Where? Facebook, Robert Silver Photography. I'm on Instagram. Who would have thought? At Robert Silver Photography. And guess what? I'm on TikTok at Robert Silver Photography and Twitter at Robert Silver a Photog. Okay. So make sure you go ahead and follow me. That would be greatly appreciated. I'd really be happy. And there's other ways you could support a brother. Okay. I have an HBO special. Okay. It doesn't, you do not need a cable contract for this. You could help a brother out. How? You could donate at Cash App at Robert Silver 247 or send me a Venmo at Robert Silver 11. Now, if you don't feel like doing any of those, you could do a super chat because super chats, what's great about super chats, folks, is that it takes 60 days for me to get anything. So you could do the slow way and support me and thus help this show grow. Because the more it grows, the more you'll know because I'm going to literally be reinvesting everything I get back into the show to get in an even bigger space to provide even more better quality content and bigger guests and maybe even do some traveling and get you guys maybe I'll do shows. Actually, I want to do shows in the future at large conferences, right? WPPI and stuff like that. So with all that said, feel free to help me out in any particular way. Now, if you don't want to do any of that, you could do the most simplest thing. Okay, you could just smash that like, the share, and of course subscribe to get notifications of upcoming videos that I'll be doing and these live shows every week. My goal is to do two minimum, two minimum. All right. Now, that easily walks us into my next thing that I want to share with you. Um, Oh my goodness, I'm gonna need a lot of water today. To my, I'm not gonna tell her name yet, but she sees me sitting there sweating. All right, next thing is, I have a few photography workshops coming up, folks. Okay, I have 4 of them this year. If you didn't tune in last week, don't worry, I got you. I got you. All right, because here we go. You just head to my website at robertsilverphotography.com. It's very, very simple. I made it that way. You go here, check out my photos. All right. But most importantly, you can see my workshop right here at my upcoming workshops. Here's the most recent one coming up. That is on February 18th, where we will be doing intro to indoor and studio flash photography. This is perfect for beginners looking to transition from shooting natural light and getting used to shooting off camera flash photography. Okay. Don't worry, I will be doing one in the future with just LED continuous lighting. Right now, we're going to do artificial lighting with strobes. All right. And this will be a 3-hour workshop at my studio in Berkeley, California. I only have 4 spaces left. You definitely want to click this RSVP now and sign up. And here is our model, beautiful Sandra. You've all seen her during my live photo shoots. So she'll be with us. I just confirmed her, booked her, etc. She will be with us working live. So that's going to be a lot of fun. She's super fun to work with. If you scroll down a little bit more, you can see what upcoming live shows. Obviously, we have today's show here. And then here's a live photo shoot I have coming up. You don't want to miss this. It's a fashion editorial shoot. Now, during this fashion editorial shoot, we're going to literally be showcasing step by step how I'm going to shoot it, and then we're going to take the best images and I'm actually going to submit these to be published in a fashion magazine. So if you have any questions about fashion photography, fashion editorial photography, submitting to magazines, etc., you want to tune into this live photo shoot. Okay, that is going to be on the 5th. Sunday the 5th. You don't want to miss it. It's going down. I will be featuring stylist Nora DeMarkey. She's phenomenal. The looks are going to be great. It's going to be your first spring editorial, and it's going to be hot. It's going to be going down. That'll be featuring Sandra, and we got a lot more stuff coming up. Now, once you're tired and or maybe you're just absolutely excited and you want to click more buttons, you go up here and you press workshops. All right. And this is where you can do two things. One is sign up to my newsletter right there. And then the second thing, you keep on scrolling because you just enjoy it so much. And you can see all the 4 workshops I have coming up. 3 of them are in studio. All right, this one I just mentioned. And then we have exploring beauty photography. We're going to be exploring commercial beauty photography and editorial beauty photography. There are a difference, and that's why you want to join a workshop to learn what that is. And then we're going to be doing photographing men, a male portrait photography workshop in my studio. All 3 of those are in my studio. And then we have a natural light portrait photography workshop in San Francisco, in the best part, which is the botanical garden, because it's really beautiful in there. So you don't want to miss that out. They're all for a discount, an early bird discount. So come on down and reserve your space at robertsilverphotography.com. Oh my goodness, I tell you. All right, we already have a quick comment, so when we do that, then I will introduce tonight's guest. All right. Oh, look at this here. Daniel, what's up, Robert? Hey, Daniel, I really appreciate your continued support. He's one of my biggest supporters, and every time I do something, he's there to either spook me or support me. Either way, I appreciate both. So thank you, Daniel, for tuning in from Chicago. I know he's from Chicago there. All right, let me just get a quick sip. Now, I have a special guest here, introduced by one of our previous guests, Lewis. Shout out to him. You know, he knows where he's at, right? Let me get my music together here. Yeah, shout out to Lewis. And now we have an amazing guest. Okay. She does a lot of lifestyle photography, wedding photography, definitely a lot of family. She has a gorgeous website. I actually really like this website. It's very clean and it's all about photos, which I tell photographers we don't care about a lot of other stuff. We just want to see the photos and can we afford you? That otherwise, if your photos can't do all the talking, well, then you best get the walk in. Okay. And her photos look pretty schmangin', and our website looks pretty darn clean. And we're going to explore all that and more this during this episode. All right. So let's get to it. I want to welcome everybody, please put your hands together for a Tiffany. Yes. 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 Look at that. We got the music. We got this intro. I tell you, the quality of the show is only getting better and better, folks. All right. So, Tiffany, can you give a little introduction of who you are, where you're at, and what you do as a photographer?
Yes, my name is Tiffany. Obviously, I own Lime Tree Photo and Design, or as you see everywhere else, Lime Tree Photo. I've been a photographer for 12 years total, and in the last 3 years, it like took off. So it's how I got here almost a question for me sometimes as well. Um, that I'm based out of Dover, Delaware, and I just like to capture people's lives, people's milestones, and celebrate life with them.
Right on. Well, what I want to do right now is get to your. I'm gonna pull it up right here. Oh yeah, there we go. This is what I'm talking about. Make sure, folks. All right, you go ahead and follow her on Instagram. Right there, Lime Tree Photo. Smash that follow. All right. Send her a message if you have any tips or advice that you may need to be taken care of. She's really talented. I can see you shoot Nikon? Is that a Nikon?
You shoot Nikon.
All right. Well, kudos to you. Okay.
I
Kudos to
I
you.
500.
Wait, which cameras?
D500. That's my go.
D500?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that camera. Actually, that was the D500 was um the first camera I regretted selling.
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause that's the one I have that he sold to me, and he keeps wanting it back.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it has a phenomenal autofocus, very fast.
So good.
Um, Yeah, it's pretty much a beast of a camera. I sold it to get the Z6, I believe,
Yep,
and,
yeah, he did. He sold it to me for the Z6. He did.
well, there we go.
I told him he can borrow it every now and then.
There you go, that's a nice sport. We already have another comment in, hold on. Here's my other fellow, regular, not follower, guest, um Pi, thank you very much tuning in. We'll be doing another photo hike soon enough, so hopefully you stay connected via where would I post that? More than likely on my Instagram. But either way, that's how we met. We met at a photo hike. So everyone, get your questions ready. Let's talk about being a professional photographer and what that takes. Okay, let's get to the first question. All right. All right. What is a professional photographer? Tiffany, we've heard that term before, professional photographer, but since we're both working photographers and they hear me talk plenty enough, um, what is a professional photographer? If someone asked you that, what is that?
It's a great starter question because I think a lot of people you kind of throw that word around recklessly. I mean, anything you're doing professionally means you're getting paid for it. So even your amateurs taking small money for um, professional photos is considered professional. I would say there's probably different levels. Like once you've got your business license and everything, and then you level up when you quit your job and it's all you do is photography. And it's like there's levels of professionalism. So I mean, as long as you're accepting money to take photos, you're kind of a professional.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You're right. If you've been able to transition this to a profession, thus pro profit, you're making money off of it. It is you are professional. I'm gonna dig a little deeper though. I'm gonna peel that onion.
Okay.
From my experience, because the bar seems with the accessibility of a quality camera, right?
Mhm.
And some lenses and like 5 minutes of free time, because these cameras do most of walking for you, right? They're really good at taking a good photo for hold on. The bar is a lot lower than when it was when you're shooting film,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
So with that said, yes, a piece of it is, yes, am I getting paid for it, right? But I don't want people to think just because they got $100 from their best friend to shoot some stupid backyard event, then all of a sudden, I guess I'm a professional photographer. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And
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 we
and if backyard function's your thing, then, mazel tov, go ahead and do that, but, I just don't want folks to be misled thinking, "Oh, that's it? Okay, I got $5. I must be a professional."
that's it.
Um I think the thing that you and I share is that we've been doing this for years now, right? It's a craft, like a plumber, like an
Yeah.
electrician, it's a trade. And
Mhm.
dare I say, photography used to be a trade when less people did it. It was, it was a specialty, right?
It is. It still is.
And uh-huh,
If
go ahead, I'm sorry.
if you pay attention enough, I think it still is a trade. It's like eye of the beholder. Like if it doesn't matter to them, then it
100%.
it can be a trade depending on who your client is. Hopefully the right client, right?
100%. And I posted a video, folks, you go ahead and search this, but, that there's a difference between a professional and an amateur. And one of the biggest things is that a professional can be very consistent about the quality of the work that they create. Like I could see your aesthetic. When I go through, matter of fact, let's go take a little stab again. Here we are. Here's
Uh-huh.
her Instagram, folks. Make sure you go ahead and follow. But
Mhm.
when I go through your page, I could see a consistent style. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And your editing, your workflow, your framing, etcetera, and I think that is a signature of a professional is that you have that certain your voice is clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, a lot I think, again, that's one factor that separates from those who could just, show up with a good camera because they have a credit card. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Oh, exactly. A lot of times are you using the camera or camera like if you're just pointing and shooting at something, yeah, it's a professional camera. Yeah, you accepted $50. But like when shit hits the fan, do you know what you're doing with it? Like When the lights go out, can you make it happen? When the sun went down earlier than you wanted it to, did it? Can you make? That's what really separates, you know,
Professional.
the men from the boys, if you will.
No, no, 100%, because a lot of times, they just may fold,
Hmm. Not that we don't
right?
professional sometimes, but we're really good at making it look good.
100%. It's like keeping your cool,
Yes.
and that's why I always say, "You know what? Think redundancy. 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none." And, bring 3 to 5 batteries, even though you may just need 1 or 2.
Right.
And so 100%. And we learned that. I learned it by just making mistakes,
Oh yeah.
right? Like, "Oops, I better get 2 cameras."
Yeah. Yeah.
And to a non-professional, they're like, "Why are you spending so much money on extra lenses and extra camera bodies?" It's like, "Are you kidding me? Because I have a name. Thank you
Yeah.
very much."
You can tell how long they. It's like, well, you must be in infancy. You haven't dropped a camera before mid shoot, have you? Like,
Totally. Yeah, on 100%. And like, oh, all of a sudden the what is it? The shutter won't go down or something like that.
yep, yep. I've had it happen.
So, I've unfortunately have felt that a few times. I did not, yeah. And also with lenses or just the autofocus or something's messing up.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we discuss a little bit of what makes a professional photographer, okay? That's that eye, folks. Folks, when you hear let me just put this on me for a hot second because I got a rant here. When you hear, "Oh, you have an eye for photography," right? That means your client can clearly see your voice, can see you in the work you're creating. That's what they're hiring. They're not hiring just a pretty female like Tiffany or a handsome young dude like me and saying, take the photos. No, they're hiring our aesthetic, our years of experience, our eye, how we approach photography. Okay. And then when clients can consistently see your voice in your work, you are entering the professional stage, folks. Okay. And then you can give yourself a round of applause. All right. Until then, well, you just sit on the sideline, keep on working, okay? Keep on shooting. That's what I always say. Keep shooting, stay creative because it's important to do both. All right. All right. Now let's there we go. Bring up the next topic, right? I want to ask, when did you decide to go professional? Because a lot of times before you answer, or you could think of your answer, um, I notice when I talk to photographers or photographers that are working full time and they're like want to put a pinky toe in. I don't know how to go about it, when I should do it. How did you have how are you so brave to do it, right? And it takes a lot of guts, I know, because I'm there. Trust me, I'm hustling. And but not everybody's doing it. So let's really give them the juice. Does that make sense? Let's let down our what is it called? Let down our veil? Anyway, you understand what I'm
Our,
saying.
our
That
guard.
yes, let's do that. Let's keep it
All right.
real, okay? So when did you decide to go professional?
Okay, so my story is kind of layered and maybe a little elaborate, so I'll try to keep it not too elaborate. But when I was in college for a very brief time, because I'm not really built for it, um, I took an extra. I was actually studying to be a graphic artist. I already was a graphic artist. I already had the job, so I was just doing the college degree because it's like what you're supposed to do, and I needed an extra class, and I was like, well, I'm doing designs to mature my designs. I want to start adding photos because it connects the person's emotions to the design because they're seeing it's your human was a word and I've lost it. You're adding humanity, I guess, to your design.
Yes.
Kind of plays on people's empathy and everything like that. So instead of paying for stock photos, because I'm extremely frugal to a fault, I was like, I'll just learn to shoot them. Well, after a while, after taking that one class, I convinced my mom to buy me my first DSLR, which I still have. She's chilling over there. But after taking the class, I kept taking photos. We kind of goofed around, my sister and I. She's 6 years younger than me. We would watch a lot of America's Next Top Model, and then we'd get super creative, and I would do her makeup up, and we'd make the most ridiculous costumes, and we would just kind of play with it. And then eventually I realized I'm already a graphic artist. Why am I going to college? I'm spending more money instead of making money. So I quit. And then it kind of slowly grew when I realized that Delaware's not really a great spot to be a graphic artist. There's no money here for it. Anybody can jump on Canva, Vistaprint, draw it on a napkin, and somebody knows somebody that's putting it on a t-shirt somehow. Like, it was impossible to really make a living career. So as I got more serious about trying to have a family, I really bumped around to different places and started using it as a side hustle because I couldn't make ends meet as a graphic artist. And it
Mm.
on its own life form. I started paying more attention to forums and what other people were suggesting because I was really hard headed also as a photographer. And then one day it clicked. I met my now husband. He was really supportive of it. And I was like, all right, it's my goal to stop screwing around with the sales industry. And, it was my goal. I set the goal within 5 years to quit and go full time. And I did it in 1 year. Like,
That's
we just,
that's awesome. That definitely deserves a yes, absolutely. Congratulations.
thank
And
you.
congrats to your husband for the support, because I'm sure, it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah,
And
my big thing is if you don't have somebody supporting your insane dream, because let's be honest, there's a moment where this is kind of, especially where I'm from, it's very, this isn't like the most creative state, especially downstate. I'm like in the middle where it's kind of country bumpkin and kind of not. I don't know. It's Delaware's weird, but there's not a huge appreciation for art around here. So when you say I'm gonna go full time as a photographer, people look at you like, why don't
oh,
you
yes.
why don't
I've
you
been
go one? What do you mean? That's not a job. Like, what?
I totally empathize because I had a, similar I had a very interesting story. Matter of fact, let me take this a little back, okay?
Ooh,
Okay. So, I got more sound effects, trust me. Ask Lewis, we go crazy. Um, so
exciting.
here is the when I went for what was it? I graduated college, 2012. I was raising a daughter by myself, so late bloomer for college, about 32 or so, and quit. I had a job, 401k, all that stuff. I quit that. I was done. I said I want to quit it in 6 months, quit it in 2 months, and just had to go hard. You know the feeling.
I
And then
do.
I called up my dad, who's very conservative. Okay,
Mhm.
conservative on the nth degree. All right. I grew up in Long Island, and I said, "Dad, I'm gonna be a photographer." Right? So I already finished college. I did all this stuff, and he's like, "A what? I'm gonna be a
Yep.
photographer." Wait, you went to school just to be? No, dad, I got a degree in something else. He's like, "You're leaving? You quit? You what?" He damn near had a heart attack.
Mhm.
Now, 2 years after that, maybe 3, I remember a conversation. He goes, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" We're checking up. "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm a photographer." He said, "Oh, you're getting paid for that?" He said, "Yeah, that you're still paying all your bills and everything else?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess you proved me wrong?" And
There
it took
you
a few years of like, "Hey, I can actually eat. Hey, people take me serious. Hey, I'm taking this serious." For folks to take that you took an artistic route serious. And that's why I try to tell people, like, it takes way more than just having a good camera and some and a sassy attitude to make this happen. Because a lot of people are doubting you, you know, and they automatically assume the starving artist route. And yeah, my
go.
dad for sure did
I
that. Oh wait, say that again.
said you do have to spend your time there in the starving artist realm. We all have to do our time there.
100%. Oh, that's a fact, okay? I tell people all the time, if you're not comfortable with white rice and some ramens, and I'm not talking about the good ramen restaurant, I'm talking about the 5 pack for $1. You understand where I'm at, okay? That is just the reality of things, but one thing I've noticed is, I couldn't once you're in at a certain point, you're like, "I can't go back."
No,
What can
no,
I do? It is what it is. I gotta keep driving through the snowstorm here, you
yeah.
know? So I know you know what I mean. Now here he here we go. Okay, here we go. Next question, alright? How did you learn what you should charge for your shoots?
Okay, Robert, this is one of my favorite questions. And for all those watching, I did
Ooh.
not come equipped with the questions that he was asking. So I'm just so excited that you asked that right now because this drives me insane, but I've also been there. So I'm really nice to people who ask, which actually I just prefer. I prefer people to just ask. But when I was in my infancy of photography, I was asking, "What do I charge?" And they go, "What do you think? What do you think your time's worth?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm suffering from a terrible self-esteem issue. I think I'm worth $2." Which and it's all about a mental thing there. So I didn't have a good perception of my self-worth, and it wasn't there yet. Like I still had time to grow. Um, but when I went to go quit my job, when I put my big girl pants on and I was like, okay, it's not just about throwing around photos anymore and charging willy-nilly. I need to know how to cover my cost. And that's the big one. People forget. Don't It's not just about what you charge or what the dude next to you is charging or the guy down the street's charging. What does it cost for you to make your art happen the way you do it? I don't shoot the same way Lewis shoots. I don't use the same gear that Lewis uses. I just use him as an example because he's my fave. So, but anybody else here in Delaware, I might have a completely different overhead or simple or more complex shtick than they do. So I created, which, listen, can I plug a little bit?
Absolutely. You know what? You better go plug.
Okay. Okay. I created, and I've been in the process of trying to figure out how to make this so that I can share it with other photographers because I think a big problem in our industry is people who don't know how to charge appropriately are heavily undercutting us.
Mm,
And what
mm.
is you can't get this, hold on, sure, you can't get the same thing, but you can go to Joe Schmo for $50 who isn't paying his bills. They're wielding that camera they bought from Best Buy and claiming to be a professional photographer. And I'm over here, buying the right gear, trying to keep my website up to date, paying my taxes. Big Ben, or what do you call it? Uncle Sam needs his cut. I'm doing the real thing. And you go, well, why are you charging, $250? Well, I'm paying taxes. I don't know what he's doing. So I've created a form, and it's an Excel spreadsheet. And if you know my history, I used to be terrified of Excel because I'm bad at math, but now it's my best friend. And I made this spreadsheet, and you put in what you want to make hourly. It quadruples it for editing. Um, it has everything. All your gear, you would put your gear price in. You would break up your monthly costs. I always say break it up by 4 because hopefully you get at least one client per week if you're serious. So break that down by 4. It calculates what taxes are going to be. It calculates your profit. You just have to punch all the numbers in, and
Uh-huh.
boom, it's out every customer that comes in. I mean, I have my standard costs, but if they want something like pieced together, I can on the fly put pricing together that actually makes sense and keeps my business from sinking. And you just got to charge smart. You can't just throw a number out there. It's irresponsible.
Well, I'm looking through your wedding and I saw your packages, etc. And when you first were like, how did you come up with your packages and the pricing of them? How did you first calculate that at the beginning without the knowledge, the spreadsheet, and the mistakes? Like, how did you first like, oh my God, and I don't want to do that again?
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. So I could screw around and just charge irresponsibly. I think I did $400 for a wedding, and I didn't know how many hours it would be.
That was a L. That was a Mario when he dies, okay? When
Yeah,
you do $400, that's what happens to you right there,
but
okay?
for what it's worth, I was 100% worth only $400. It was my first wedding, and I didn't go the traditional route. Like I didn't secondary someone. I asked a photographer friend who I don't know how professional he was, but he told me he had shot a wedding before, and I knew him as a family friend. And I was like, "Can you just come be my training wheels?" I somehow snagged a wedding. Don't know how I did it. I know them from school. It's charisma. Okay, like 90% of this is charisma, and I did awful. I mean, I looking back at it when I produced it, I was like, "Wow, I did it! I shot a wedding. These look great." 12 years later, I'm like, "What is that? Is that sepia? Did I make that sepia? Like, what is that?" But like I said,
God bless you.
you have to live in that starving artist for a minute. You got to take your lumps, and I'm a big fan of the School of Hard Knocks. I learn a lot better by doing than what people tell me to do.
Okay, what was, at the beginning, when it came to charging, what was another mistake that you did that you were like, Yikes. I don't, because I'm sure folks watching
Mhm.
want to avoid that. So what is it?
Don't add video until you know what you're doing, and don't try to charge for it. Just stop it. Like so,
Oh my goodness, that's a good
don't
one.
put it down. Don't do that. Start with your kid's soccer game before you start charging for video. So I didn't jump right out charging for video, but I had a really good idea of how to accomplish it. And I had done for the car dealership I was working for, I had done a couple like ads for them where I just ran. It was basically screen grabs or screen videos of how to use our online store, and I did a voiceover and little like clips in between. It was, I actually got thrown into video. They were like, "Hey, you're making our ad work even though you're not in the marketing department. Make a video." And I was like, "Do what?" And they're like, "Yeah, make a video. You have a camera on your iPhone, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I made a
So
video.
wait, so your iPhone was your icebreaker into doing video?
Up until recently, that's still what we were using. Don't tell my boss. Just kidding, I'm my boss. But yeah, we were using the 4K, and put in a
Ah,
cinematic mode. And because it was for the car dealership, they weren't going to pay me extra to make this video. So I figured for the first year while we tried to dabble, and I'm full disclosure with my customers.
yeah.
Kelly and Chris is on here. They just got the first official video done by us, and it's the first. So be gentle. But
Okay.
I
Shout out.
more into the video aspect. So I was like, we'll start with your phone, and we will disclose to them that it is iPhone cinematic, and we will put a 3-minute montage together while we get our feet wet, and I will not charge you extra while you let us. But understand that it's not professional because I'm giving it to you for free while I figure out what I'm doing.
And that I think that's actually a really professional way to approach it, quite honestly. They get what they pay for, and
Yeah,
you're being honest about it.
yeah.
And, that's actually a good way to build your portfolio and your skill set. So, 100% solid win, okay? I'm gonna give you a Mario coin, okay? There you go. So, I think that's fantastic. As I try to tell everybody on each live episode, photography alone will no longer cut it. Okay, folks? It won't. You have to be you have to be multifaceted nowadays if you wanna level up. You could only charge so much before you price yourself out of your market, and unless you're exceptionally well and your demand is that amazing, okay? If you are, mazel tov, live your life, live your best life. For us regular folk, we have to get to a point where we don't wanna price ourselves out of our clients and the average client that we may potentially get in our market area, right? That's different for each one of us. I'm in the Bay Area, different price range than if I was in Kansas, okay? Whatever that is for you. Now, how do you increase your income? Well, that means offering more services, increasing your product line. One way is the clearest, quickest way, adding video to your service packages will immediately, at the bare minimum, folks, double it. But I guarantee you'll triple it easily, easily. Today. That's right. I just said today. Today, I literally had a client. It's a previous client. Okay. Product photography, portrait photography for a beauty company that's doing well. And they needed another round of photos, full day shoot, all that stuff. Called me back after paying their deposit. Hey, Robert, by the way, guess what we now need? Guess what we now need? Exactly. Oh, yeah. They needed video. All right. There you go. Immediately before we even shot, first day of production, they literally need more work, which means a bigger invoice. Okay. Out of one client. Cause I believe in working smarter, not harder. Working smarter. Yeah, not harder. Make sure I'm not talking too fast. All right. At the beginning, my biggest mistake with charging was too little, as we all do. We're not confident about our work. We're not confident that people will recognize our worth. Right. And we're just nervous as hell. So we charge cheap as hell just to get anybody to say we had somebody. Right. And don't do that. I jumped in like yourself, Tiffany, and just started doing everything by myself. I it was not until last year that I have, or within a year and a half, that I've actually had assistants. Now I have 2 assistants, but it took me 11 years to get to that point because I'm such a huge production control freak. I'll do it all myself. I shoot 12-hour weddings by myself. I do it all. And so
Oof.
recently, now I have 2 good assistants, but I was doing headshots at the beginning for 50 bucks. And then I'm like, "Why can't I ever pay rent?" Because clearly
Mhm.
I don't know how to do math, and I don't know how to trust my worth and understand how to value that and make sure people pay it, right? And, and charging accordingly, because as you know, Tiffany, sometimes you just have to say no. Am I right?
Yeah, especially as you get bigger and have more customers, no happens so much easier.
That's a fact. That's a reality, and that's okay. Sometimes you just have to walk away. It actually will do better for your brand if you're like, "I
Mhm.
can't do that." It's okay. I've
Yeah.
referred so much work to other photographers that I'd rather be known as someone like, "Hey, Robert referred me, and if he referred you, you must be okay." I like to have that name too. I don't mind that. And but karma is a son of a gun, and it either comes back with a hug, a kiss, or a kick in your ass, right? Am I right? So I have no problem doing that. Hold on, I think we have a comment, and it's actually not me. So Can we get? I already know what I got for this guy right here. I already got it. Don't worry. Here we go. Here we go.
There you
Okay. All
go,
right.
Lewis.
Lewis.
I'm
He
live.
said, "I love charging too little." Well, you know what, brother? I got something for you because you like to charge little. That is a big L for you, my brother. Okay. I know he's laughing right now because every time he's on, we're going back and forth with sound effects. So, um, I
It's
hope
funny,
he's
every day
doing okay.
back and forth about pricing.
Oh, he does with you?
Him and I, yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, I appreciate he's tuning in. I invited him on, but I think he has work and whatnot, but I appreciate that
Oh,
he's even, checking in on us, and he has another one. If you charge 50 bucks, I'll charge 40. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, this guy is a he's one of those. He's one of those photographers. Okay,
he's
he's one of those.
much
Wait, say that again?
he's worth so much more.
Yeah, well, he's saying he's willing to cutthroat us. I'll tell you that right about now. Better get out the daggers. And here we go. We have Mark. Oh, damn. Oh my God.
So
No.
that that is my favorite
Oh, come on,
my
guys.
favorite.
Oh, Jesus. I tell you, you can't win for losing with my crowd here. You can't win for losing. But you know what, Mark? I appreciate much respect game to that Knight Rider profile pic. That's pretty awesome. Okay. You're gonna need more than 49.98 to get that Knight Rider, though. Okay.
You know, you you right. Tell him, Robert, just get more on the videos that we're supposed to be shooting because that right there is my second shooter. And if he wants more money for the Night Rider, he better get the gimbal that we need for this.
That's right. You better get on that video. Otherwise, she'll be saying, Nope. There you go. Okay. Hey, you know what?
Anymore.
I'm about to buy a gimbal, because I had to lock in this for this client I just shared with you.
Mhm.
And um video is so important. Like if you're not doing video, I don't know how to tell people you can easily 2x, 3x your income just by including video. You
Yeah.
chart because let me just I know you may know this, Tiffany, but I'm gonna share this with the folks, okay? All right,
Yeah.
everybody, check this out. All right, little story time. All right. All right, here's a reality check. If you're doing photography, normally you charge X package and it comes with set of images. There you go, Mazel tov, you're done. Congrats. You have your work, they get their work, you get the pay, you're good. Now, if you have a client that asks for video, your pricing structure can go so many directions. I'm not going to talk about commercial work yet because that's a different completely pricing structure and strategy altogether. And that goes for commercial work for photography too. We're just talking about standard clients needs X project or video and then you're going to deliver it. Very straightforward. Now, when you're shooting video, you're going to have two things you're charging off top. Photography in general Depending on a few, they may charge a sitting fee plus separately for editing. But in general, you're charging a package for your time and it comes with set images. Video, you charge off top your production fee. Okay. You have a pre production fee, the planning, logistics, etc. Okay. Scheduling, you might be hunting for your location if they want you to do location hunting and stuff like that. So you have pre-production, you have production, and then you have post-production, which is the editing. That's right. You're going to have separate lines for each of these. So you're charging different rates for each one. You're not going to charge a full, I would not recommend charging a full package unless you know specifically how long it's going to take you and the amount of work, etc. But if they step one pinky toe outside of that package, you charge them and you charge them accordingly. Do not be the nice guy, gal, or person. No, we're running a business. You can't go to McDonald's with 95 cents for a 99-cent burger. Doesn't work that way. They'll say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." They'll give you water and then point you toward the door. So you need to be just as cutthroat as Ronald McDonald. Okay. With that said, make sure you're charging for every step of the production process. So I quoted today for that client I mentioned earlier. One line, I'm saying, okay, here's for production. Now, I'm not sure exactly, they're not 100% sure where they want to go with the editing. No worries. Let's not sweat it. Let's just produce, let's record the product, and then we'll discuss further what we're going to do with it. Ergo, I'm going to bill you again for the editing. But you clearly explain that up front. So there's no no one feeling salty and everything else. But you let them know how that goes. It is not like photography where I give you one price, it's 2 hours, here's what you get, mazel tov, we're having a great day. Okay. That's why if you have those multiple lines just dealing with video, you already can see how you could 2x, 3x, 4x your income by still doing the same thing. And guess what? Having the same camera. Okay, because all of our cameras nowadays do very good video. Okay, so if you're not dabbling in Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, you are losing out. All right, so let me get off my soapbox right there. Sorry about that, Tiffany. I had to, I think my audience knows I get into my rants, and it's really because I want them to level up. I love my people so much; they tune in, and if I don't give them the juice, guess what? They give me the boot. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna keep that. Okay.
Me
Here's Lewis. He's laughing at what we were saying earlier about being a cutthroat pirate or pirate. Yeah. Okay.
too.
I'm sorry.
Yo ho, pirate.
Exactly. Well, that's trust me. If I see him coming, we're gonna be fighting swords. So sword. What do you call it? Sword. Anyway, we're gonna be fighting. Okay. He's not gonna undercut me by a penny. Daniel says, "How do you gauge your prices in the photography market?" Fantastic question. That's a great question, Daniel. There you go. Wow, you clap pretty loud. So okay. First, Tiffany, you're the guest. Feel
Yeah.
free. How do you gauge your prices in a photography market?
So of course you've got to see what's in your market. Like I said before, there are people who just price off of what other people are pricing, and that is important. You can't. So in a relatively lower end market, so I can't add so much stuff that I'm blowing myself way out of the market because I'm not going to get any calls. Like it's just not going to happen. So you do have to be aware of what your community is charging. I've worked with, and I'm not a big fan of just like going right, and I've done it, like we've all done it, but then when you're on the other side, on the receiving end, and somebody's just like, what do you charge? Like you kind of know in the back of your head, like I'm going to tell them what I charge and they're going to charge half and take all my customers. Like I know what you're doing. So I don't really like to go that direction with it, but if I could give advice for somebody trying to figure it out, make photographer friends. That means don't take their customers because that's how you lose friends. But for example, Lewis and I, we're on opposite ends of the state. We have very different styles, but we're very close photographer friends. And we'll, talk back and forth. Well, what are you charging for this and why? And then, well, he's got some buddies up there that I don't necessarily talk to. What are they charging? So we kind of have a feel based off of friendships that we've made in the industry of people who we're trading info with and kind of advice with. It's not just a, hey, give me your info so I can undercut you, because that's, especially in small, like we're a really small state, like that's not going to fly. Everybody knows everybody, so it's you're not going to make a good name for yourself around here if you do that. So I would say be aware of your market, talk to people, look for mentors, but then at the end of the day, know what your cost is and what's going into it, and make sure you fall somewhere relevant. You do have, if you're way out and off, then you might be doing too much for where you're at, if that makes sense.
100% that does. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, that you have to understand your market. Okay. One way, Daniel, all kidding aside, this is why I talk about in Marketing Monday. If you guys go check out that playlist on my YouTube channel, press subscribe, press like, all that good stuff. But most importantly, is you do a SWOT analysis. Okay. And in that, doing that SWOT analysis, you're going to be understanding and better grasping who your competitors are, your realistic competitors. If you're doing boudoir, who gives a hoot nanny about what wedding photographers are doing? Okay, and vice versa. So you need to do a SWOT analysis. Look that up. It's a real thing. That's why 80-90% of your time should be on what, folks? Marketing. All right. If you're not marketing, hold on, I need something for this. Marketing. All right. You need to do that. Anyway, let me calm down here. Let me calm down a little bit. Ah, yes. Back to it. So after you do your SWOT analysis, you see your strength, you see your weaknesses. Okay. Now that's going to help you to gauge realistically where where your pricing should be. If you have a lot of strengths in a particular area, expertise, experience, obviously your value is going to go up. But you also have to recognize uh, you look at your competitors. What I did at first is, since I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland specifically, I went to 3 to 5 websites that did portrait photography. So I looked at what are the fellow competitors that are, or colleagues, whatever you want to call them, their competitors. We're after the same nickel. And where are their pricing? Cool. Then I just did a median. I said, where's the average? Cool. So if it's all 100, well, then there you go. So everybody's charging $100, right? All right, cool. Therefore, some may have been, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just throwing numbers out of a hat. One might be 300 bucks. One might be 200. Shit, I can't do the math off the top of my head, but let's say 1575, right? So you're like, all right, the top end is 300. I'm not there yet. I remember one photographer was charging like 300 an hour, and I thought that was so badass. I was like, yo, she is phenomenal. I want to get there. Like, how do I get there? Um, and while others were charging 100, 150. So clearly the medium in between that, the 100 and 300, is your 200. You're like, okay, then maybe I should charge starting out 150, 200. That's just off of that competitive analysis, right? What their pricing structure. But really, first thing before you gauge any of your pricing is, how much do you want to make? You have to look at all your bills. If you're married, all this other stuff, have another job, and you're willing to do that, then great. But if you want to turn this full time, what would it take to replace said job or income, right? If you're married, maybe you do half income. I don't know. America's expensive nowadays. Let's be real. We all got to bring in the money. But you say, okay, I want to make $10. Cool. Then how often do you want to work to make $10? Because a full-time job is 2,000 hours in a year. Do the math, break it down, divide it by 12, et cetera, et cetera. And you get down to a week, you get down to a day, and then you start to see, like, okay, kind of like what you said, you want to make, my first goal at first was $500 a week, right? That was my first goal. I didn't make it for years, but that was a goal, okay? Because at the time, I could pay rent plus my basic utilities. Now that would not cover rent. So, but at the time,
Bill sometimes, you know.
I'm sorry, Tiffany, say that again.
I said these days it barely covers your cable and your grocery bill.
Exactly, exactly. So, but at the you it was a lot, you
Yeah.
know? So, you first start with where it is you wanna go, right? Because a ship must have a direction. You gotta know where you're going, right? Don't pick a map up if you don't have a destination, because otherwise you're just gonna walk in circles. So, you say, "Okay, I wanna make X amount of dollars. How many hours do I wanna make to make that?" And realistically, as Tiffany said, you want one, I'm going to say up to 3 clients a week. If I'm working 5, 6 days a week and I'm not making a shitload of money, I'm working too hard. That means I need to increase the packages and to market better, offer more value. Okay. Now, once you have where you want to go, then now you have what your competitors are charging. And in between there is the reality check, right? Because what your competitors are charging, you have no clue what it is for them to live and exist. But at least you can see what the market is bearing, and then you can see where you need to make, and then somewhere in the middle is your reality check.
Right.
Okay. Now, the quality and the more consistent your work gets better, obviously you can justify the value of your work, ergo increase the price. All right. Now, how do you do that? Yelp reviews, um, your even Facebook reviews count now, believe it or not, on your Facebook page. Google reviews, very big. Yelp and Google reviews, hands down, most important. I've gotten so many referrals through Yelp, and I freaking hate it, but yet it pops up first saying 5 star, whatever it is. And same with Google reviews. You definitely want to get on your Google game. That's going to be another episode, so we'll talk about that later. So those are a few ways for me that I would recommend to charge. And one stupid way, if you're part-time and you have a big job or whatever, and you're getting paid fat, hey, mazel tov, do your thing, you know. But here's one easy way. If I'm getting paid, let's just say, make it easy, $25, okay? And I have to take off work to do this, I at least want to get paid. Check this out now. I'm going to take $25, at least double per hour. Then I'm going to double that. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm at $100. Why? You say, why 100? Well, 25 is going to cover the loss of me not going into work. Okay. The extra amount, a third of that 100 already goes to Uncle Sam because guess what I do? I actually file taxes. I pay. I make sure that I pay. So therefore I can complain. Okay. Do the math. If you pay, you could complain. If you don't pay your taxes, shut your ass up. All right. Anyway, so you gotta do your you gotta. I'm sorry, Tiffany. Go
There
ahead.
you go.
There you go. Thank you very much. I think Randy Savage has something for that.
Oh yeah!
Okay. So, with that said, a third of that goes to taxes. So if you take away the 25 plus a third of it to taxes, you're really left with 40 something dollars, 45 bucks. You see, that's how I get to the math. And therefore, when you're starting out, you want to make at least walk away with some profit. That's how I came up with the pricing strategy. So it's worth me taking off work and then looking at me crooked when really I wasn't sick. When you come in the next day. We all been there, okay? Anyway, that's my take. I'm sorry, Tiffany. What was that?
Relatable.
So, but that's my take on how I came up with that. Lewis, look at Lewis here. Daniel, I hope that helped you. You know what I'm saying? Please, everyone, make sure you smashing that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really does help us. Tiffany and I are here sharing our wisdom, our experiences, and mistakes with all of you. So hopefully you will avoid those. Sorry, guys. I'm at work. Love you guys. Thank you. He's at work, still trying to undercut us. Can we? What the hell is that? You know what I mean? Anyway, here's Louis here. This inflation got people spending $10 for a dozen eggs. So imagine shooting in this market. 100%. That's why. What did I say, folks? What did I say? You guys aren't listening. Okay. You guys aren't listening. Let's take a little rewind. Okay. That's why you need to increase your product mix, increase it, offer more value to your customer. You want to be the one-stop shop. Back in the day, it was upselling frames, wedding albums, prints. Most, I mean, I can't speak for you, but I don't do all that. I do the wedding and I cut. Why? It's just not me. Okay.
Well,
No, no. No, I get you. No, no, no. I want you to speak on you because you're a wedding photographer. I don't rely on weddings as much as you do.
yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, I don't. So that's why I'm going to explain what I'm going to say. I'm not trying to disrespect you.
Oh no.
But what I do to upsell is my other services, right? Oh, I do video. I do production. Oh, you want vertical? You want 10 vertical videos for your business? Because guess what? You're going to need it. You need it for shorts, reels, and TikToks. I'll make them for you. You see, I'm upselling in these other particular arenas where I'm still being able to be a creative full time and wake up when I feel like it, come live and talk to all of you, invite and talk to Tiffany and schmooze. So as long as it provides me the lifestyle that I want, still being a photographer. So obviously, Tiffany's about to tell me right now how she upsells and what extra services and value she gives to her customers. Hit them up, Tiffany.
All right. So I do the prints, and it wasn't something I did for a while because, and you're right, you're doing editorial and fashion stuff, so your prints are being printed, right? Mine, people want them, but I've also found like it's so accessible. So sometimes it does get a little disheartening as a wedding photographer when they're like not even touching my store. So a big marketing Monday thing here for you.
Sorry about that.
What?
I'm sorry, they don't sometimes they don't see the value and they're not, like, pressing on it. I get it, trust me.
They don't see it till they print it. I actually got into it with my sister, not into it, but she hung a new picture on her wall, and I walked by it and I went like this. And she's like, What are you doing?" I said, "It's shiny." And she's like, "So?" I was like, "You can get a nice matte finish. It would look nicer up there." And she's like, "Shut up, get out of my house." But that stuff matters when you really care about it. So it can get really discouraging how accessible a lot of these things are these days. So you have to make sure that you're not just providing prints, you're providing quality prints. I can tell you that my prints are better than Walgreens, but if it's more affordable for you, I'm not going to knock you. I do give you a print release. If that means after your wedding you're going to come back to me for your maternity shoot, so that's kind of, I structure mine very, the way I up my value has a lot to do with my admin and my marketing and the service that I provide. I could just take your photos and kind of willy nilly you, but I'm doing a get ready where I'm giving you what the weather is that day, what I suggest you wearing. There's silly little things, but it's the customer care of it that really you could build your value just giving more customer care. It's a really cheap. It's not cheap because it takes a lot of time, but it's cheaper than buying more gear. We've added, like I said, we've added video. We're working on that. So I don't want to come out here like I'm a videographer. Give me time, but we're actively working. My big thing is trying to give extra care in somebody's wedding. And then when they get pregnant, then I'll do their maternity, I'll do their birth, I'll do their newborn. I'm not big into newborn, but I'll do it. I like to become somebody's one stop shop. So the value in Lime Tree is that I grow with you and that when you have a moment that you need captured, I'm a phone call away and we've built a rapport by then. So there's a lot of ways you can get crafty with it. Half of it's marketing. That's what I was going to say. Sorry, I lost my train of thought about the. I want to share just a creative idea, if you don't mind, to other photographers, maybe other wedding photographers.
Absolutely, you better.
Oh yeah!
Yeah. So I'm a big marketing guru. Again, I came from the graphic arts world and then jumped into photography. So I kind of did things backwards, but I noticed, my people. I have a store. I have the print store. The web platform I'm using, I'm literally just like it's passive income. Like it goes to another place. I get a small commission. They send it out. I never touch the photos. I'm not even going to try to bluff, and I don't bluff to my customers either. I'm not at home printing it. I'm just getting a commission for selling them. But and they are nicer. They are 100% nicer than Walgreens. When I
Who do
noticed that,
you, whose website do you use? Like, who hosts it for you?
Pixie said,
Oh, that's awesome. That's a solid win. I'll give you that. That's a
"Yeah,
that
I love them. I love them. I get everybody on them." But when I noticed that my prints weren't selling, because again, anybody can just download them and take them to Walgreens and it's tried and true and it's right down the street, they don't realize there's a better value in the prints that I offer because they're not touch, see, and feeling them. So I made a wedding card on Canva. Now I do my, listen, graphic artist, okay? I do my stuff on Illustrator, but to knock it out quicker, because I'm trying to run a whole business here, I will do quick stuff on Canva. And I printed these little cards. As a matter of fact, I might have them. Hold on. Ooh, no, I don't have it handy. I was going to show you.
through
They're
Canva, huh? Through
from Canva.
Canva?
Don't tell my college people. I did use Canva, but I created a thing that was like, "Congratulations, we were so glad to have this day with you," and it's got one of my photos on there because, again, keep it marketing. If somebody sees it in their house laying around, hey, oh, that was Lime Tree's photo. Yeah, that's their stuff. Like, keep a conversation piece. But I'm putting a little discount code on, and it's strictly wedding, a discount code for them to order prints through my website, and I'll lose the commission on it. But my theory is, so I've lost commission for that, but now you've gotten a hold of my prints. So now you know the quality is exactly what I say it is. It is good quality prints. Now when you come to me for your maternity shoot, or you come to me for that 1 year anniversary boudoir, you already know the quality you're getting. So I'm going to make my commission later. It's kind of like banking on it for later.
Yeah, you're paying, yeah. It's that business karma, if you will,
Hmm.
right?
Got to get it
You
in
get
their hand, you know?
That's right. That's why I love prints. I'm not sure if you see some of my prints here and
Yes.
there. I hang them. I have so many of them. I don't have any more space, and now I'm filling up there. Is that some of yours right there? There you go. Okay, I see that. Okay. But I love prints. I really do. That's when you can really see your photo come alive. I'm really big on printing your own work, and also a big fan of being a fan of your own work. Like, you should really love your work, because when you're not getting paid or you hit a dry spell, you better love your work, okay? Otherwise, it just became a job. Congratulations, okay? That's all I and you know what that means. Exactly, you just lost the game. So, real quick, everyone, please press that like, share, and subscribe. Help me out. Trust me, the algorithm would love it and appreciate it if you could feed the beast. Press that like. If you like what we're giving, hold on, just give me a hot second here. If you like what we're giving and dishing out, well, you know what? You can support the channel. All right. Now, how do you do that? You can either do a Cash App. I got the excuse me, I'm so sorry. Super chat, super stickers, all good. But those take 60 days to come really into my pocket. And then YouTube takes like 55%. But if you do a Cash App or Venmo, I get that immediately, which means I can reinvest that into the show, into the channel, and bring you guys more juicier content. Okay. And when I mean juicy, I don't mean OJ. Okay. I mean the one off the tree. Okay. I need something juicy for all of you. And I actually, believe it or not, do my research on topics that's relevant and helpful to all of you, because that's what I want to do for you, is help you level up. If you can level up and come back and let me know how this program and how my channel helped you, well, that's a serious win for me. Okay. There you go. All right, let's get back into it. I'm so sorry. I had to get on my soapbox here. Um, Jesus. I never thought in my life I used to be terrified to do this stuff. Absolutely petrified. All right. Let's get to our next question because we went ham on that one. All right. Um, oh, here we go. This is gonna be a good one. What are the activities that you do that no one sees? Let's get to yeah, let's peel that onion, okay? What is that for you, Tiffany?
Well, you guys are on my basically my bookshelf. So what nobody sees, okay? Because we had this thing, okay, where wedding season just happened, and I'm gonna tell you honestly, we bit off way more than we can chew. I did not realize how many when I booked them, because it was my first year without a secondary job last year. Officially first full year full time without a secondary job as of December 31st. Woohoo! Yeah. Um, That was awesome. So I started doing um, this like list, this estimated completion list, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna rattle out 3 jobs a day in editing, for completely forgetting that this is my list. Okay, we've got. I'm an old school paper and pen.
Oh
Here's 20 something,
my god.
26 things from behind the scenes, and it goes on to the next page, and then my toddler scribbled on it. So she's an artist too. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Clearly.
huh?
I said, "Clearly she is."
Yes. Oh, she's exactly like me. But yeah, so I mean, I'm over here trying to decide. I mean, I could go on for like I don't even know where to start. I'm over here working on my bookkeeping, my accounting. It's tax season, so I'm still trying to finish all these edits. But I also have to like get to my accountant here and get my taxes done. We've got different people on the list that I still have to follow up with and make sure that they'll kind of go quiet for a minute. You got to be following up for all those others out there. Please make sure you're doing your follow-ups. You'll easily double your business because everybody's forgetful. We're all too busy. Planning an expo. I'd like to do a wedding expo this year. Read
Ooh.
all those lists that I'm putting on Instagram to let you guys know when to expect your stuff. That's all stuff I have to sit down and do on Canva, to do all those customer care things where I'm sending you a card for your wedding and giving you a discount. all that needs to be created. A big one we're working on right now is all the research and development for the Valentine's boudoir. So I was just running marketing material all over Delaware this morning.
Oh, wow. So you're spending a lot of time getting your it sounds like what we mentioned earlier, folks, as I keep on saying, 80% of your time has nothing to do with photography itself. Your camera is literally collecting dust and your battery needs charging.
Yep.
So, you're hearing it, folks, and I did not tell her to make that fancy list.
No,
Let's
this is
show us that list again. I want people to see the madness it takes for us to just be
this
a photographer.
this is not one day. Double-sided list. This is 26 items per side. So what is that? 40. I can't do that. I don't do math. I do
That
photos. But God, it's 40 something. You
that's
know,
crazy.
from emailing my subscribers. I'm supposed to do a newsletter. That hasn't happened and we're mid-January already. There's so much.
I just started doing newsletter twice a month,
I hate
and, you know what? I do too, but
it.
then when I looked at my newsletter mailbox, I realized, "Oh my god, I actually have a decent amount of people. I better start using it."
Yeah.
Um, so with that said but that's good. It's good that you have a list. You know what that does for folks? It holds you accountable. Right? When you
Mhm.
look at it, and even when you didn't hit everything, you can say, "Damn, I need to get on that." And then, obviously, you'll not speaking on you, Tiffany, I'm speaking to everyone else, that you're gonna make time for it. When you see it and you put it to paper, right? The first step to every goal making, well, not the first, but I think second. First you need a vision, and then you need to write the damn thing down. But writing it down really helps you to achieve it. So that's why I believe in you, and really think you're gonna be good to go. But yes, we only have so many hours in a day. And you said, do you have a kid? You have a child?
I have three of them, and they all need the dentist, the orthodontist, the doctor,
Oh my
everybody
god.
called out of school. They need to go to the urgent care. I mean, this season has been bananagrams. It's yeah,
Yes, it can
back.
be like that. Um, my daughter is grown and she's in college, and, I only have 1. Therefore, that's why I get to play here with all of you, and hang out. But I could imagine if I had 1 or 2 or matter of fact, I couldn't do it. I have too many lights and all this stuff, and I would need a separate cave, to have this set up with a lock, like kids not allowed. Um, Let me ask you real quick, because 'cause we're talking about what others don't see, like what you do aside from just posting your latest photo and talking about something on Instagram, like updating them. How does your husband, play a role? Like, does he do anything for you? Does he help in any particular way, or is it just all you and he's like right on?
No, no, he has a lot of roles, as a matter of fact. The man is a saint. He is right now in our bedroom with the 3-year-old who is a late night, a lot like she is a night owl. She stays up, and she's killing me. She stays up until about midnight every night just talking to me. And I'm like, I can't do this. So he's got her locked in the bedroom watching Sonic with him. And
Yeah.
he's absolute saint. He's also my second shooter, and he's developing our video. He was the one who jumped on Mark Tisdale earlier with the Trans Am. He is
Oh, okay, with the Knight Rider.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The one
So
who wants to undercut both of us. Got you.
listen,
He said 49.98.
no, he talks real bold on YouTube, and then behind the scenes, he's like, "You really got to charge more."
Yeah, there you go. Exactly, exactly. You gotta get these people where you can, right in the throat.
Mm,
Um,
and then to continue on that real quick, those are just the things that he physically does. Like he cooked dinner today, knowing full well that I was gonna have to get ready for this, and like he set all of this up because I'm actually not good. I'm actually a terrible gear person. I'm a really bad gear person for a photographer. So he did all this for me. But the best, absolute best thing is that, as I said earlier, he supports my madness. I'm in a
mm,
complete crazy career for our area. Well, like you said, like you and your dad's super conservative and everything. Like some people really laugh at this. And I mean, I've been with guys that were like, yeah, no, you're not, that's cute, really cute. And those relationships didn't last. And I found somebody who just is like, yeah, man, if you can make it happen, do it. He would give me a goal and challenge me when I was working at the dealership. He said, beat your salary and you can do it full time.
Right,
I
what did I say? Start
twice
with your salary.
I beat my salary twice over and I quit that
Oh,
year.
yeah. That's awesome.
So
Well,
he's sup-
that's oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, he's supportive. I was just rounding it out.
Well, that's fantastic. And I think that even makes this conversation more well-rounded because talking about a single individual experience as well as someone who's married and how do we balance both things. Obviously, I get a little bit more leeway in my area, but also financially, I don't get the other help either. Right. If I have a dry spell, well, clearly it means white rice and some salt and pepper. You understand what I'm saying? And I am not bashful. Now, I want to share with you folks some of the ugly side of being a professional photographer. One is
Yeah.
never expect, hold on, let me get to this. Put your ears up close, folks. Never expect the next client to be there. Now
Mm-mm.
you're like, what does that mean? Well, clearly, it means that that check just may not come in day 2, day 3, day 4, or even a week or 2. Okay? You have to be very conservative with your money. Okay? Do not get that fat client, start spending it and everything else. First of all, 27% of it goes to Uncle Sam, whether you want to or not. Because if you're not, well, they got a nice warm place for you in federal prison. Okay. And then plus, when I first started, okay, I could talk about taxes, but when I first started, I used to be, how do I hide it and everything else? But then as a business, that's retarded. Okay, for me, reason is I want to have more buying power, meaning if I want to leverage my art to buy a house, buy a car, etc., you have to actually report what the hell you make.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't, and you're saying you only made 10 grand because you're hiding the rest, guess what? You can't buy anything. And one of the
Yep.
strongest things you can do in business is leverage what? Your credit. All right. In order for you to increase your buying power and make purchases that make sense. Right. If you need to buy a lens, quick of a dime, like right now, I'm about to go buy a gimbal, right? DJI gimbal. I'm going to do that tomorrow. How can I do that tomorrow? Because I have buying power. I can go ahead and do it. I can do either cash or credit with 0 APR, right? But to get there, you have to report what the hell you make. And when you want to get a car, they're going to say, how much have you made? And for you entrepreneurs, it doesn't count until 2 years of reporting. Did you not know that? After 2 years of reporting, then you could claim it as a reliable source of income. All right. So if you're getting a majority of your income from photography and you're not reporting a decent amount, you've literally chopped yourself off by the knees. All
Correct.
right. So I just want to put that out there when we're talking about all the ugly side of business. That's why you best report it. That's why I claim everything. But guess what I do on a flip side? I claim every damn expense known to mankind. Okay. I had a lunch the other day with 2 friends. We talked about workshops. Guess what I did with that lunch? I wrote it off. That's right. Do that fake. Yeah, that's right. You better believe it. Okay. So the tax game is made for rich entrepreneurs. It's not made for broke, regular working class people. So guess what your mindset needs to be? It needs to be rich corporate America, and you'll win. That's how you win. The tax game is not made. It's made for rich landlords, landowners, technically. At the offset of America. Therefore, you got to have that mindset, and you'll win the tax game every time. That's why I don't lose in credit because I leverage credit to work for me. All right. Keep your bills at 0, by the way, folks. You'll be
Yeah.
better off. But outside of that, the other ugly side is aside the numbers is I'm constantly updating my website. I'm looking at my SEO performance. I'm looking at the traffic. I'm looking up, go to Google. You can find out what common search terms people are looking up and everything. Yelp does too. And then you try to optimize the SEO of your website. That is one fantastic way to gain organic traffic. You also have to realize that if you're not active on social media, you're killing yourself because more traffic goes to those sites. Therefore, your name, your information, your platforms will pop up a lot of times faster than your actual website will, meaning it'll rank higher because there's more traffic to it. So therefore, if you're not updating with constant information about what services you offer and the work you're doing, you're chopping yourself off. So therefore, I wake up at 5 a.m. First thing I'm attacking is what am I going to post today and why am I posting it? Okay. I don't just post a post. I try to post and how do I look at it from my viewers' perspective and why should they look at it? Where's the value in it? Because there are three things that people value on social media when it comes to content. That's entertainment, educational, and informational. So you got to hit them with one of those or two or three out of them. So I wake up at 5 a.m. and plan that. Then I gotta have a good breakfast, go work out 2 to 3 hours, come back, repeat. Okay. And I literally do that. It's a long fucking boring day. But most of the day is marketing, as Tiffany was sharing. We're
Mhm.
both marketing. She's making her list, checking it twice, balancing the kids, come back and checking the list off again. All right. That's why I recommend a lot of you to just study some basic digital marketing strategies. Digital marketing, online marketing is the way to go. And if you're not doing it, you're losing a lot of money. So those are a few things that I'm constantly doing, and I'm also looking up like for me this year it's YouTube as you can tell. Like I'm going hard on YouTube, okay? But I'm also going hard on video and it's paying off. So spend more time strategizing, plotting, scheming, looking at your competitors and being honest. What are they doing better than me? And then how the hell can I get in that game? I look at YouTubers with 100, like 100K, 10K, and I'm like, son of a gun. But I have to be honest. I have to take accountability. I'm not doing something clearly. If they got it and I don't, I'm not doing something. And I think as a photographer, if we constantly give reevaluate ourselves every Sunday evening in front of the Bible, whatever it is you do, you know what I'm saying, cup of coffee, then you'll get further faster, you know. So anywho, I'm sorry. We have a few comments. All right. Uh-oh, here we go again. Look who we have here. Uh-oh. Give that man a coin. You better believe it, brother. So there we go. He loves that coin. So I'm gonna give that to Lewis there. Okay. I thought he had a wise ass antic, but no, he didn't. He wants the coin. So there we go. Thank you, Lewis. Lewis is awesome. You know how we met, Tiffany?
I'm intrigued. I want to know.
Okay, I'm glad
Wait,
you
I
asked.
told me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, you were at like an expo or like a con
Yeah.
thing.
At, Photo Plus Expo.
Okay.
Lewis has been following, I shouldn't say that, but supporting my endeavors, like, when I had, I don't know, under 1,000 or something subs, and, so shout out to Lewis. Thank you very much for your continued support and friendship, so I appreciate that, man. And then we have Mark. Uh-oh, Knight Rider,
Here
Knight
we go.
Rider, and with taxes are just paying for a report that says you make enough money to have buying power for like 100%. That's what I said, people. You wanna have buying power. Don't hide the money.
Yeah.
Smart people, when they make a shitload of money, maybe, you wanna tuck a few, where just in case something goes bad, your money's in the Cayman Islands somewhere. But us regular folk, you wanna leverage that. They're gonna come get it either way,
Yeah.
whether it be through taxes or your ass in jail. Okay, they're gonna come get it. They're gonna come get it when you can't buy a damn Toyota Corolla because you want to be all slick about it and cash. That's just not the way to do it. Okay, invest it. If you want to hide some, invest it. How? 401k or some crap like that, and then
Yeah.
guess what? You could tuck away $6,000, and they actually reward you. How? By paying less taxes. Okay, I'm giving you guys some game. Damn it, and so is Mark over here. I wish I had the Knight Rider. I don't have the Knight Rider, but I do have
Uh,
this. Okay, a little dance for that good little tidbit there. And then as far as a business standpoint, absolutely, and that's what this evening is about. Being a professional photographer is we're having the business mindset, right? That's what we're here at Pro Profit, right? Are we here to make money or no? I think we are, and therefore,
Here comes the money. Here we
that's
go.
exactly, and that's what we're exactly break that bread, baby. That's right. Anyway, oh boy, I tell you, whatever. Every time I leave this show, I have to like spend 3 hours of not talking to anybody. My throat just kills me.
Oh
But
no.
but it is the truth though. You don't wanna do that, folks. Actually, it's helped me out way more, and, who doesn't want to be able to see a nice little, increase at the end of the year when you're finally like, "Yeah, I just made X more amount that year. Yeah, that was me right there. That's me right there." And Uncle Sam sees that. That's when it's official, really. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because if
that's
you make
true.
$1,000,000 and you report 100 grand, but you're spending 1,000,000, they're gonna be like, "Hold on now. How in good God's name does that add up?" And then that's when they come a knocking. Anyway, let's get back to our questions, shall we? Here's a good question here. Oh, did I'm not sure if I asked this one. Okay. Did
I'll
I?
let you.
Okay, hold on. Let me get I gotta get my sound effects ready, okay? Did we
Ah,
talk about how do you specifically market your business?
me. Just kidding.
Yeah,
Lots of ways. Like I said, I came from being an ad design visual communications major. So all I do is market. I'll give you there's many ways, okay? But I do want to give you like a little we'll give you like a literal day in the life. You watched this earlier, Robert. I seen that you watched my little mini live that I had. Um
loved it.
you can market in the smallest ways. If you are vicious with your marketing and you just want to scream from the rooftops what you do, I mean, don't, because that'll freak people out and then they won't hire you. So you have to be really tactful about it. I was at the dentist office with my daughter, my 3 year old, and I'm just like shooting the shit with the hygienist, and we're talking, and I'm like filling out information about insurance on an iPad. She goes, "Oh, you working?" I said, "No, this is your iPad, but I was working out there." And she was like, "Oh, you were working here?" Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, I run my own business. I work wherever I want to." And she was like, "Oh, what's your business?" And I try not to like do that all the time. Like I'm trying to not do that often, but really you have to. So I was like, "Oh, I'm a photographer. I do boudoir and stuff." She goes, "No way, I do eyebrows." I was like, "No kidding." So we fired up this conversation. She has a small business. I have a small business. I went home and then bing, the light came on. And I was like, she does cosmetics. She does cosmetic
Oh,
things. I'm doing a boudoir. What? I was just saying this to my 13-year-old. I was like, what do those two things have in, excuse me, what do those two things have in common? They're both for women who want to feel pretty. They want to feel beautiful. So I can take her audience, the people she's already captured, they've already showed interest in wanting to feel beautiful by getting their eyebrows tattooed on. Um, and I want people who want to feel beautiful and use my services. So I printed out a bunch of postcards. I'm not usually big on paper marketing. You can do a whole lot just digitally, but this just hit me. It just seemed right. So I went to Staples just to do a quick turnaround of a whole bunch of postcards, simple QR. I didn't put a lot of info on it because my big theory is curiosity killed the cat. Less is more. If you put a QR, they can go find more information. You want to hook them with the picture, and that's it. Leave them one.
absolutely.
So I gave 20 of those to her. She's going to put them in her care packages. So for like, because they're microblading, they're basically tattooed eyebrows. So it'll have a care package, and this will be slid in there, and they'll go, "Oh, instead of taking selfies of my new eyebrows, let me go get them professionally done in some laundry." Win-win.
Man,
And on the back end, here's where you have to be careful. Okay, it can't always be about you. If you want to really build relationships and build your marketing and your word of mouth, you it's give and take. So I don't just say, "Hey, here, show off my stuff." When I go to post this stuff later, I'm going to shout her out and tag her all over the place. Like, "Here's my Valentine's boudoirs. Check out that girl's eyebrows. Noto did them." And now she's going to keep throwing business my way because I'm helping her in marketing.
now that, my friend,
Here comes the money.
is a money moment right there. Okay. I think that's fantastic. I love that you found someone that has complementary values for your clients, right? For your target market. Um, and that you were able to leverage each other. And that right there is actually a big win.
Yeah.
I talked about that in a previous episode of Marketing Monday where big brands are doing the same thing with influencers of micro influencers, right? So if you have 1,000, let's say 1,000 to 5,000 good followers, they'll rather work with them for similar reasons, right? The loyalty of your followers, less chances of bots, but
Yeah,
you're balancing each other's values with each other, right? And I think
yeah.
that's fantastic. Definitely keep me posted how that works because I think.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I said, oh yeah, like definitely, I will.
Yeah, that's clever. That really is. So think about that, folks. If you know a printing house, right? And maybe you could work out something and you get a discount code. I work with Clot Studio and they do hand painted canvas backdrops. And ergo, we leverage each other. I get a dope backdrop from our studio and I refer folks who want hand canvas backdrops that I've tested in and I stand by the quality of their stuff, and they get a discount. So we all win, and so I think that's fantastic. You created like almost almost like affiliate marketing kind of a situation without the discount code or something like that. But either way, I like the partnership. I think that's fantastic. And then their customers might be somebody you may not even have gotten. So
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. So that's really
yeah.
dope. Hold on, let me take this off. Let me get back. We have a comment. Of course, we have a. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at this guy over here laughing at us. Yeah, I bet he loved Lewis loves the coins. Let me give him a quick coin.
Yeah,
Okay? But he didn't
definitely
show
awesome.
up. He didn't show up today, so he's gonna get this. Exactly. He gets
Well,
that. Yeah.
as he
Mario.
$40, he had to go back to his day job.
Yeah, he did, but he still gets the L. No, anyway,
Oh yeah,
D-Rock Smiling. Oh, I love that. Isn't that such a great name? D-Rock Smiling. Hey, y'all. Hey, what's happening now, man? I really appreciate you tuning in. He tuned in, I believe, the past couple of times, so I appreciate that. That's my boy right there. That's Derek. Hold on, let me give it to him properly. Okay. That is my assistant, and he's pretty kick ass, super supportive, and he helped install my big old TV in the studio. Couldn't have done it without him. He was pretty awesome. Um, and Lewis is back. One day I would love a studio area. Those eight like what? Those are life goals.
very
100%.
cool.
Yes, we definitely not hey, it took me 11 years to get a studio space, and, now that I have it, honestly, I just can't imagine not having it, and guess what you get to do? Come on, Tiffany, you already know what we could do with that expense. What can we do with that expense? Write it off!
Here comes the
Write it off,
money.
right? So that's one of the best things about the studio space is that if I have an excellent month, when I look at an expense, I'm like, ooh, I get to pay slightly less more taxes and I write off the expense. So that's one good benefit. And there's a lot of expenses that come with a studio. And don't worry, folks, because next week I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of a studio space, how to open one, how to find one, etc., and all the pitfalls you want to avoid when it comes to running or renting a photography studio. And there's a lot of them. But boy, that's another area I guarantee you can double X your money, at least a double X. The first time I started renting a space, a serious space from someone monthly, I increased my profits 30%. Boom, bada bing, baby.
Here comes the money.
Okay.
Here we go. Money talk.
30% easily just because I had this space. Like you said, Tiffany, um, you enhance the value of what? The experience of working with you. Remember you talked about experience? So
Yes.
off top, boom, it was fantastic. So that's why my goal since after that, I tasted that success. I said, I need my own space. But I do way more portraits and stuff. So it kind of makes sense. But you know what? If you have a space, do you have a space you can go rent out real quick if you ever need it?
Yeah, I have a couple consistent places. I don't have one that's my own yet, and as
Okay.
Lewis knows, that's a big, big goal that's in our future. But I have my go-tos in several different areas that I can get pretty quickly.
Well, that is awesome. I think that's fantastic. And I think every photographer should have a quick go-to, 1 or 2 or 3 just in case.
Yeah,
But we'll
yeah.
talk about that next episode. If you wanna join in, you can. I'm gonna be actually be
Sure.
on the air with, another photographer who's been shooting I don't want to put him out there, but longer than me, who inspired me when I first got started, and he makes
Wow.
kick-ass work right here in Oakland. He's an OG. He's an Oakland, not only native, but he's what do they call it when you're like you're a staple, okay? When it comes to photographers, a lot of people know him, and he does fantastic studio portraitures. So he'll be on board next week. But anywho, we have another one. Uh-oh. Sonic Ring is superior. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we have a battle of the ringtone. Okay.
Oh, is
So
that what it's about?
yeah, you see that's some nerdy stuff right there.
There's
We are
heard
we're we are showing our true colors in front of Tiffany right now, okay? That's right, that
I am
is the battle.
fine.
Don't worry, he'll inform you later, but I already know what he's talking about. Cause guess what? I'm a proud fucking nerd, it's all good. Um, so with that said, let's get to back to the matter at hand, shall we?
Marketing,
Uh,
yes.
yes, hold on, I'm sorry, I got all this stuff going on and I lose track of myself. Alright. Alright, so marketing, it's all about social media. You know, personally,
Mm,
if I didn't have social media, we'd be paying for a lot more marketing, right? Because the reach wasn't there unless you paid for it through magazines, traditional avenues, such as
mhm.
that, which is sheesh, horrible ROI, return on investment. Social media has the best return on investment. The best places for me has been Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, bar none. Those three. Obviously, YouTube here. People get because people do business with people. People do business with people, especially people they like. And that's why I commend you, Tiffany, getting online, going live, good lighting, etc., and just connecting because people do business with people, but also more importantly, people they like, right?
Yeah,
Thankfully, I'm blessed to have. I may not have a million trillion watchers, but the ones that are tend to be very consistent, and I rather have that. And I'm very blessed to have those few people that are like tuning in. So YouTube, if you want to if you want to do more video work, YouTube is where it's at. I don't care, bar none. It's the second largest search engine in the world, bar none. Top number one for video. Okay. And trust me, they're going after Twitch and they're going after TikTok hard. And the best thing is that they pay out.
yeah,
They
they
pay.
do.
And starting March, they're actually going to start paying you for shorts. So if you're busy making TikToks, I guarantee you you'll make more money on YouTube. Get on with YouTube. So that's another little couple of cents of change, but most importantly, it's great for marketing because guess what? When you Google, what pops up at the top? Normally, or a lot of times, videos. So if your content and who you are as a brand is related in YouTube videos and they're checking out and you're tagging your videos accordingly, guess what's going to pop up when they're looking for Delaware photographers, boudoir photographers, et cetera, et cetera. It's just another avenue. Obviously, Instagram is extremely powerful because Meta, believe it or not, is number one social media when it comes to monthly user engage. Facebook. So all you young people that are too good for Facebook, no, because guess what? The
Yeah.
demographic that pays you are on Facebook. The people who have the
Mhm.
money pay you are on Facebook. Okay,
Yes.
believe it or not, they're updating with their grandma, work colleagues, all that. They're all on Facebook. They're not making a stupid TikTok dance. I do TikTok because I want a presence there. I realize that's important, but it's really built and catered to a particular demographic, which may not have the disposable income to guess what? Pay my bills.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to understand who your market is, right, Tiffany?
Absolutely.
And so those are my three. What are your social platforms?
I do a lot of Instagram. I don't tend to, that's not a big return on investment. Like I don't get a lot of stuff off of Instagram. I think that's more my way to keep in contact with my current customers. But Facebook is huge for me. I think the big blow up that happened that really took it by storm is I told a couple of friends, and my small friend group, it's actually a Subi group because I come from a like Subaru culture. And these girls are spread out in Delaware. So they're part of I'm trying to think. I mean, you guys have one too, but there's always these girls groups. So there's, and I hate to say it, it's just a Delaware thing, so forgive me. But the big Delaware group is called the Uterus Club. I don't know why. I hate the sound of it, but it's fine.
Wait,
There's
wait,
that.
wait, 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 wait.
I know. It's what it's called. I didn't name it. But there's that one. There's the Hocassin Mom group, the Dover Mommy Chat, the Middletown Moms, and these friends of mine are all spread out. And on the moms group, it's constantly like, who knows a photographer? And these girls, they're not paid, but they're on it. So there's two of them in particular. Shout out to Rachel and Elizabeth. And anytime they ask me for, actually 9 times out of 10 they don't, I have to like make them do photos. Like Rachel, Elizabeth, if you just seen the birth shoot that was in my Instagram, she just had the baby and I said, you're not paying me for that. Like, you, 90% of my clientele comes up from you posting me on on Facebook. I can't charge you. So Facebook is huge, and it's big about the referrals.
Copy that. I'm about to go to your where are you? There you go.
My
I just
Instagram.
want people. Yeah, I am. Okay. I'm trying to. There we go. Jesus. Slow one. Come up here. All right. All right, folks, check this out. Whoops. What did I just do to you?
Made it
There we go.
tiny.
Okay. So make sure you go check her out. Lime Tree
Mm-hmm.
Photo on Instagram, folks. Check her out. I have her link in the description section down below. All right. Make sure you go ahead and do that. And of course, smash that like, share, subscribe to my channel. All right. You can see all of her work and her little videos. And her videos, I commend you on a good lighting, because that would be, God, that's like the biggest irk. I don't mean to be bougie, but when I see people do bad lighting of videos, I'm like, really?
Hold on, I gotta just say, you're not bougie about the lighting. We're photographers. The word photo, you want nerdism, okay? You guys are talking
Yeah.
Sonic. The
Uh-oh. Wait,
photo.
hold on now. Hold on. Let's drop it to him, okay?
Okay, okay, I'm gonna drop it to you real quick. Photo means light. If you're on here with bad lighting, what are you doing? We're like scientists of light. We're the study of light. Might as well be put along.
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. We should be, it's funny because I don't even put on, okay, I'm gonna put on my nerd hat. But if you if you listen to like the ideology of like Star Wars, light, dark and light and stuff, it's so that got it. We're getting really bad here. But
have,
shout out- huh?
have your moment.
Okay, we're about to have it. It's very much in tune to photography, and very, you're balancing, like, they both exist in the same universe. They need each other, but there's always a constant fight between light and shadow.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
You're spot.
So they both have a purpose. And so yeah, it's very kind of spooky that way. So shout out to a Star Wars nerds.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
not a Star Wars nerd, but I get it. We have a couple of comments. Let's get to that.
sure.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. D-Rock comes in. When is a
Mm.
good time to spend what is it when is a good time to spend on marketing assistant? Huh, that's a great question, actually. That's a damn good question. That's for giving me a great question. When is a good time to spend on a marketing assistant? Oh, wait, Tiffany, go ahead. Ladies first. Go, go, go.
You won't find me spending, for one, because there's some
Ooh.
aspects in this business that I hold very close to the chest, and marketing is one of them. Because again, that's like my baby. That's where I came from. I came from marketing, so it's something that I know what I want to do. I have a lot. At least I haven't needed one yet. I mean, trust me, I'm overwhelmed, but like, it's gonna have to be real bad for me to give that up.
Um, I understand what you mean. Derek, when it comes to a marketing assistant, I don't think really, honestly, if you have you need a schedule. You can use later.com, fantastic scheduler. Meta Business Center is a fantastic. I don't know why people run from Facebook. I don't care what Mark Zuckerberg is doing. I could give a damn. I want to know, how can I leverage this platform marketing wise, right? And is this platform serving a particular target market that I want to cater to? I want to be there. Who gives a damn who's using it? I want to know if my money's using it. With that said, Facebook has Meta Business Center. That is such a great platform. Now, come on, let's go take a trip, folks. All right. All right. Let's take a trip to Meta, okay? Let's go take a trip. Here we go.
Wait, I
Meta.
feel, did he mean assistant like a person or assistant like a platform? Because I definitely use the
I think
assisting platforms.
100%. Well, don't worry, I'm gonna tie it all together because
Okay,
I'm gonna assume both, okay?
okay, okay.
Um, all right, here's the back end. All right, folks. If you have a business page on Facebook, you have access to this. It's free 99 because guess what Facebook wants you to do? Stay on their platform longer. So they're going to make it much more convenient for you to run your business. They want your eyeballs and attention. Therefore, they make it very useful for you to use their platform. It's very easy, user friendly, and it makes it more powerful for you to market yourself. On the back end here, you can schedule out. Look what you can schedule. You can schedule out your post any time of the day. You could create your story and post that and schedule it. You could create your reel and post it now, which is awesome. That just happened in the past couple months. And then you can schedule bulk videos up here, upload videos. So like if you have a series or something like that. I use this all the time. And if you have your Instagram connected like I do here, right? Then you could actually schedule to both. See Facebook and here's an Instagram, etc. So I'm saying it's Meta Business Suite is a super powerful assistant. So going back to what we were saying, Tiffany, you really don't need an assistant
Yeah.
until you're just so busy that you need that kind of assistance. But quite honestly, it's very manageable to do it on your own. All
Yep.
these platforms have their own particular way, but again, Meta controlling Facebook and Instagram, here you go. You could schedule it out. It's free as hell. You don't need to pay. But then you also have platforms like later.com or Hootsuite that do it for you if you want to pay that extra. That would be the next level I would recommend if you're not going to do this, because later it allows you to do all the platforms in one place, right? So that's one benefit of paying that monthly or annual fee. You know what I mean? So that's what I'd recommend if you wanted to have a marketing assistant is using these tools that. But on the back end, a lot of these platforms do it for you. Here's another one, folks. I'm going to show you. I'm giving you the juice here. If you need ways to market your business yourself, you create yourself a tweet. But look right here, you can schedule it out. There you go. You go here, you pick the date, etc., time, blah, 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 and then you can go ahead and schedule your tweets out, multiple at a time. So if you have 2 hours and you're scheduling out your posts, you could schedule out a week's worth of posts and tweets and then go about your life. So that's one way to do bulk organic marketing. And then, according to your clients, they just think you're posting all the time, but really you just spend one full day scheduling out your post. So when it comes to assistance, going back to what Tiffany was saying, like you really don't need to pay for an agency unless you're Mariah Carey or Rihanna, then you will have a marketing agency taking care of it because you're busy being fantastic. But for us regular folk, you could do a lot of it yourself, and all this stuff is free. Um, YouTube does that as well. You could put your videos, multiple videos, set them as premieres, and therefore you schedule them out. Hello, all this is free. So the marketing assistant really is just you setting aside some time,
Yes.
understanding the platforms you want to be on, because most of them allow you to schedule, and then putting in the work. That's why 80-90% of your work is what, Tiffany? No.
Marketing.
There you go. That's it right there in a nutshell. Real quick, we have another one. YouTube algorithm is currently number one, including payouts. 100%, right?
You're gonna make me
That's
a
go ahead.
YouTube, right, Mark? You're gonna make me a YouTube then? Is that?
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Hold on. You know what? Ask him again.
I should stop. He's gonna come out here and dump the toddler on me if I keep it up.
It's all right, uh, but yes, YouTube is number one. If you want to make money doing videos, YouTube, bar none. I have an assistant on my I'm a content marketing consultant. I have an assistant. She has 100,000 on 100,000 followers on TikTok. I know how much she makes. You wanna be on YouTube if you're making video. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how fancy the dances get and the stupid tricks they play on TikTok. YouTube is number 1, okay? On payouts and features, I'll be quite honest. I just think it's just a well better built platform because it's Google. Okay, Google is 10 steps ahead of all these schmoes. Now there might be a new fancy something, but they'll gobble it up and figure out not only how to capitalize on that new feature that a platform might come out with, but then also guess what we get? We get paid by it. That's why it's number one. And if you're doing shorts already, well, then guess what? Just upload it to YouTube. So what are you doing, you lazy scoot net, you know? Anyway, oh, you know what? When I feel like cursing, because sometimes I do, I'm from New York, so I curse a little bit. So I have this, you stupid son of a. So there you go. That's for
I
the,
need,
you know,
I need that
um,
button.
you need that button. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes it makes you. Anyway, so Mark is absolutely right. Here we go. Tiff is dropping some serious knowledge. Uh-oh. You know, we got something for her. Yeah, dropping those gems. Okay. Now, who's
Makeup
Christine?
artist. What a gem.
Oh, she's your makeup artist?
Makeup artist. My boo right there.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Showing that love. We need that love. Okay. Cause you know what? Sometimes when we hit that dry spell, we need some love. Let me tell you. Um, Here we go. D Rock coming in. Not to get too off subject, but photographers get to not to get off subject. Get to TME. I think he's talking about the runway. That's a runway show, I think it is. The Model Experience, which is in LA. I think that's what he's talking not to get too off. You know what? Derek, text me later. I'm not 100% sure where you're going with that question. But photographers get to TME. Maybe it's the runway show he's talking about, which is called the Model Experience. That's during LA Fashion Week. I'm not sure if you're talking about that, but let me know if you are, because right now I have no clue what you're talking about. Okay, so there you go. Just text me later, my man. Okay. All right. Let me see where we're at. Da, 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 da. You see, like people say, like, why does it go longer than an hour? Trust me, talking can go, it goes by quick. We have real quick, what are some of the lessons you've learned from the beginning to now, as a professional photographer?
There are so many. Like I couldn't like I can't put my well not like I told you, I didn't take the traditional path, right? Where like you follow a mentor. I had a couple mentors, like one, and I was real stubborn, real set and like I knew what I wanted and I knew what like that my route has always been different. So I've literally just had to learn by screwing stuff up. Where's that cuss button? Screwing, beep
Oh,
up.
oh, screwing. Gotcha.
Up. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, just trial by fire, and I've had some of the most amazing customers who have let me guinea pig like they've just been guinea pigs for me and trying this out. And anybody who lets me do something like, for example, Kelly and Chris who just let me do the video. I mean, they know I'm new at it and I could totally botch it. And they had somebody running like a backup video. No shade. I'm not ashamed. Like I would love that this would go perfectly, but I'm learning. So I've had some of the really like the coolest customers who have just let me learn. One of the big ones, just since you brought it up earlier, Robert, just to pull one from my hat to give you something. I mean, pricing was one. Learning to run a business was a big one because everybody wants to be a photographer, but like you have to be an entrepreneur first, and that's
100%.
hard. That's hard to learn, especially somebody. I grew up with grew up. I still have them. I have learning disabilities. I'm a total special ed child, and I grew up thinking that I was never gonna. I couldn't work Excel spreadsheets because I couldn't keep the lines. If you color code the lines, you can keep track of them easier. You just have to outsmart your disability, really. So like I grew up thinking I would never be able to run my own business because I just had this I can't do it mentality.
Mm,
So that's probably the biggest lesson is just stop being afraid of what you think you can't do and just do it and screw it up graciously. That's a big thing. Don't screw it up and pretend like you didn't. Like you screwed somebody's wedding up or you missed a big shot. Actually, still 12 years in, I'm going to call myself out. Don't judge me too harshly. 12 years in, for the first time, we did a wedding that was in the complete dark. Like it was nighttime when they started saying their vows. And I was like, oh, I didn't bring the lights that I needed to bring for this. And we made it work. And a lot of the photos were great. But there was one photo I missed and I got it, but it was blurry because the camera was having a hard time seeing in the dark and finding the people to autofocus because I do use autofocus. I don't trust my eyes that much in a quick scenario. So I didn't get the photo. So I'm gonna, I'll message her and I'll tell her straight up, listen, this is the photo I got. I would have loved to get something more crisp of you and your daughter. I'd love to do a mini session for you too. And usually people perk right up and you learn
Oh,
bring extra lights next time. And they're usually cool about it because, like I said, I've just had really cool clients. And as long as you're honest, people get that you're human.
serious win. That's awesome. Um, I th I hear a constant theme, okay? We're about to go to it, folks. You already know what time it is when I'm about to get serious, okay?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Go on my soapbox. One thing that she said consistently, folks, that ring true, okay, without saying it, is accountability. That's one of the biggest lessons I had to learn. You had to take the successes, the good months, and then also the lousy months. Even though every year, usually in December, November, I'm reevaluating year to year, but also every day or weekly as well. Just every day. What can I do that I didn't do yesterday in order for me to level up? Because I always have a particular goal. And honestly, it's either I get myself there or I don't. So in her case, taking accountability can save a client and also for future referrals. So just own it. It's okay. Things happen. Um, I do recommend getting insurance, just in case you get
Oh,
that one crazy nutty one. But overall, most things are fixable, right? I've done that too, where I said, "You know what? Come back. I'll give you another 30 minutes and we'll figure something out." Or you give them something extra on the back end. "Oh, you know what? I'll give you more prints," something like that. Because quite honestly, it's a lot cheaper than losing a client, right?
yeah.
It costs less to keep the client, and it hurts when they leave because guess what? They're on your Yelp, which you can never remove, all the negative stuff, and on your Google and everything else. And guess what? You can't remove them from Facebook reviews either. I've come to find that out. So, that's number 1 is taking accountability. Another lesson that I've learned is knowing my worth. That's right. I just said it, folks. Know your worth and stick to it. That's why, like I said earlier, when we started, you have to be okay to walk away. It's all good. This is the price. Here are the packages. Which one would you like? Because by the time you get to that point, they already did a few things. They did some research, they looked up your work, they liked your work, and then they made the effort to reach out to you. That's a huge process that many businesses die and pay big money to get you to do those steps. When you took the conscious effort to go through those steps, you're pretty much sold. It's really, do you have the price and are you available? Right? Those 2 things you can now it's up to you to close the deal. So, but sometimes if that client is obviously trying to undercut your value and you already know your worth, you stick to it. Losing that client might actually do you justice. You actually may make more money later. Why? First, you build up the confidence to say, no, I'm worth X. But secondly, um, you do not get that reputation of, hey, you know what? No matter what, just say 10% less. They'll take it. They're hungry. They should be happy. I'm here to throw them a penny, like and so I could see this little monkey dance. No, this isn't that kind of a show. And no, I charge a lot for my circus. And I think that's another reason, another lesson that I learned is knowing my worth. All right. And that's why I said start out with a target price, not target price, a sales goal that you want to achieve throughout the year. And if you're undercutting yourself 10%, every client, guess what's going to happen at the end of the year? You missed your goal by what? 10% because you sat here wanting to be nice. Okay. Nice isn't always, this is business. We can be nice after we're done shooting your whatever it is you need me to shoot. Okay, that's just me. But I'm cutthroat, and I don't care sometimes. So let's get back, Tiffany. Hello, there you go, folks. You know you rather look at her than my ugly mug. So here we go. We got some more comments. Who would have thought? Oh, okay. Derek says, "Yes, I am." Oh, okay. He was talking about the model experience. He said, "I can never stop talking about the photography business." Yeah, you know what, brother, you're right, because he we talk all the time about marketing and not just shooting, but just how to get his name out there. He's constantly working on his SEO. Do you work on your SEO of your website, Tiffany?
So that's a really fun question. It's taken me. I know it's search engine something
Uh
optimization.
huh.
Yeah. So I stepped back from SEO for a minute, and people can still find me on Google, but I got roped in, and I don't know if anybody else has done it, but those people who say that they are going to run your SEO and you're going to pay them,
Oh yes.
then can you make, are you at a place where you could double your workload right now? And I definitely did it because, I had taken I'd done a couple different investment strategies to get some marketing going, including some platforms that market specifically to weddings. So I was like, well, it worked with the knot. Why not try it? And it didn't do anything but lose me like $400 in the first 2 months. And yeah, like I said, I'm big on giving it a try, and I won't let it go too far that it, flops my business. But live and learn. So I kind of backed out of SEO for a minute. I'm certainly as busy as I need to be right now, so it is something I do plan on getting back involved with. But right now, I just kind of keep my website up to date, and I really focus in on the local community. I mean, Delaware being as small as it is a lot of word of mouth. There's not a lot of people. More people are asking their community on Facebook than they are Googling for photographers around here.
That's That's actually good to know, and that's why I said, folks, do a SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point and astute of you for picking that up on how your customers, their buying decision like making. How do they go through the process? Um, yeah, that's why I said. Anyway, yes, awesome job. I know. For me, my I actually get success through Instagram and whether it be for my workshops or clients in general. And of course, word of mouth. Your word has to be your bond. That's why I said sometimes you have to just say no to a client, or go a little and then over deliver. In some cases,
Oh,
like you said, when you own the mistake and you're like, you
mhm.
know what, I'll give you another 30-minute session to make up for it. I think that's fantastic. And trust me, I'm sure they were delighted because you did that. And you were honest up front, right? I believe you
Yeah.
said, "Hey, look, I'm a beginner." They knew what they were getting.
Yeah, I'm big on honest. Try to lie to somebody, and then you like, because there's people who will do it. They'll talk the big talk, and I'm this big bad photographer, and they'll buy all the gear and all this stuff, and then they botch it, and it's like, now you got to back it up. So you
Right,
come back for help
100%.
time, buddy. Like,
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So I was about to say, yeah, you gotta be honest because they will find out, and, your work says it all, that's for damn sure. Um, Real quick, hold on, let me see if I have anything else on this thing. Oh, okay. Well, we all know come on now. Pi wants to know, "Hey, Tiffany, what do you shoot with Nikon, Canon, and why?"
oh, I can't get
What
it
do you
off. It's up there, but I shoot with a Nikon that is stuck to my wall right now. I love Nikon. I started with a Nikon, and I'm also like, just naturally, I'm a loyalist. So, my first camera that like I said, I kind of conned my mom. She knows now, but when I started my photography class, I was like, we need a DSLR, and I can't afford one. Will you buy me one? So we got the Best Buy special with the kit lens. It was a D3000, and I used that for the longest time. And now I shoot with thank you. Now I shoot with a Nikon D500, and we also have a um, D300S that we use for weddings. That's kind of my backup. She has an attitude problem, so she stays in the drawer a lot. And she's going to hear me say that and then cop an attitude the next.
Yeah.
But I love them. I think that they're very. I've had my hands on Canon, and while I do think they do take a really I kind of think their shots might be a little more crisp. Um, but I like how accessible everything is on my Nikon. Like I feel like I can get to things and I can navigate it a little bit easier.
Right on. There you go. All right, Pi. There you go. I forgot what Pi shoots with, but there you go. She's a Nikon gal, so shout out to her.
You,
I shoot. I'm sorry.
you shoot Nikon?
Yeah, I have a Z9 and I have a bunch of crap, but nonetheless, I sold my D850 to get the Z9. And
Ah,
then I converted all the lenses over to the Z lenses, and now I'm waiting for, like, a D850 version, but in, like, the mirrorless version,
yeah.
and then I'll buy that eventually, but right now, I use a Z9, and then I use for all my video, I do Panasonic Lumix. So
Oh,
everything I do is yeah, I love their system for video. I love the colors, I love everything about it. So, yeah, I use 2 different systems. I'm not married, but I use the ones I enjoy. Um, uh-oh, here we go. Rajesh says, "Hey, I'm from India. Uh-oh, I got something for you. I got something for you." Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Okay, that's for my Indian brethrens over there doing what they do. Hey, make sure you post what kind of camera you use, okay, from India. I'm curious to know what you're shooting. Probably more than like, I'm gonna say, mm,
Olympus.
oh, really? I was
I
gonna say
don't know.
Canon. I was gonna say Canon. So let us know what you use, okay? Post that down below.
I
Pi
like a
says that oh, he appreciates the answer. Okay, so there you go. Thank you, Pi. We appreciate you. Make sure you smash that like, subscribe. Oh, I think he already subscribes, but press that like and share at least, okay? All right. Now, last I think I have one more question. That will be it. Uh-oh, here we go. Folks want to hear this. What's the advice for new photographers? Now, when I say new photographers looking to make it a profession. Okay, let's talk about that. What's some advice you would give them?
Okay, well, just rewind and listen to everything that we just said. So that being one of them, I think, and it's a really hard lesson because I had to take this lesson, and Robert, I'm sure you had to take this lesson, and it's not one that you really listen to, but more you have to live through, and it's like take your time for a minute, like learn one piece at a time. Don't get so because people get really money hungry and they lose focus of the art. Develop your art. Work on just shooting everything. Shoot a wine glass that you have sitting next to you. Play with colors. I have the cheapest, okay, this is an example, the cheapest ring light like you could possibly buy. You can use this thing and play around, and I turned it off because, there we go. Play around with where you put it. Get 2 ring lights. That will work like a small studio setup, if you will. And just, have fun with it. Don't forget that, like, photography is fun, and we sometimes people get too serious about it, and like we're literally just like I know it bugs me when people say you just take pictures, but like we just take pictures. So get that down first, then learn how to be a business person, and then put the two together.
I couldn't agree more that we have to remind ourselves that this is a passion before it's a profession.
Right.
Just last week, I kind of got in a mental situation because I was feeling a little overwhelmed. Um, just life. And I was just telling a family relative, like, "Oh my god, this is so much of a job too," and trying to remind myself that it's a, it's a passion first, that I happen to have been able to make a profession, and don't lose sight of that. For me, just last week it was hitting me hard, and I simply went to the gym for 3 hours, just went super hard, and came back with such clarity. So you just gotta step away, go for a hike, bring your camera, but, like, go for a hike,
Yeah.
do something that doesn't involve you having to get paid to use it, and I think that could help bring a sense of clarity. Do some work that's just for you, you know? Um, Advice that I would give personally would be that, when it comes to what was I about to say? If you wanna take your take your passion and turn it into profits, mentor, have somebody that's a mentor. There are a few I can think of right now that heavily influenced why I do studio portraits, and what got me to wanting to have my own studio was because there was a couple of OGs that seriously put me under their wing in terms of like spreading some knowledge. And there was a plenty that weren't, but the one or two that were, right now, I can honestly look back. Shout out to Anthony Gatson. He had a studio called Studio Trois, and he was awesome. And he honestly, um, was a huge influence in terms of why I wanted to get more into studio photography. He was super big on, hey, just come into the studio space. It was my first place I ever rented. He's like, even when you're not shooting a model or client, just come in and learn and touch and use the stuff. And I really appreciated the way he got down, super professional on how he ran a studio. I learned so much on how to run a studio and provide value for those who come to it through him. So shout out to him. Okay. I got a little something for him, and it's called a little horn action. Okay. So, yes, having a mentor is super important. Having a community of like minded geeks, super important because they will understand your plight. Am I right, Tiffany? Am I right? They're gonna understand when when ish gets bad. Yo, da da da. Most people won't care. They really don't. They don't. They don't
Most
get it. Yeah, they don't care, and they're like, "Why did you be a photographer, you sucker?" So, be around like-minded people, learn how to network. Because what did I say? People do business with what?
people.
People. That's right. And not only that, let's top it up. Let's top it up even more. People do business with people they like. So it's a networking thing. So get out and network. As I said, this is a contact sport. You got to get out and network. Go to Facebook groups, look at other people's groups and figure out how can you get a part of their events. Go to meetup.com. There are always some sort of photography situation. Go out and network with others because you might pick up something that they're doing that you're not, and you totally were never even exposed of on that particular approach to attract clients, etc. um, Support other photographers' stuff. That's another great piece of advice because a lot of time I've gotten referrals from other professionals that do it for profit, because I look out for them just as much. So being supportive in that arena really helps, especially get you off the ground because you might get one or two clients that month that are kickback from other photographers because you showed them some love. It really is a people sport, and you have to be involved in other people's successes, not just your own. I mean, what do you think, Tiffany, when it comes to that sort of stuff?
Well said. I would say 100%. Like I said, a lot of my business is based on referrals and people I know and people my husband knows. And I mean, Lewis is one of them. We're from two different ends of the state, and we know each other well. So it's a big way to keep yourself inspired. And I would also, just to add to that, you said being in a lot of the like-minded photographers group. I also find it's nice to try to find a group there isn't a photographer in but has clientele. Like, I'm big about getting into the small business groups because a lot of
Mm.
kind of miss that step and they'll get in all the photographer groups. But I'll go utilize like the esthetician I was just talking about, or I'm sorry, the permanent aesthetics. That's what it's called. I I'm not I'm not in the makeup industry, but she has clientele that would probably also be interested in what I'm interested. So I'm not competitive to her. I'm not in her industry. I'm walking alongside her. So try to find communities of people that would be interested in what you're offering, but not competing with you.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's good. Yes.
Team.
Yes. So therefore, you both are winning. You could
Mm-hmm.
support her, obviously refer her, right? Without
Absolutely.
feeling like you're losing out, right? Because obviously, human nature, we're going to put ourselves first, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is a business, and but at the same time, now you both can level up each other, and I think that's fantastic, right? Um, all right. Now, with all that said, oh my goodness, can you believe it? We are at the end of our ropes today. So, with that said, I want to say thank you, Tiffany, for jumping on another episode of Let's Talk Photography. You really have been amazing. I
Thank
really appreciate your insight.
thank you so much. It was awesome.
And where can they find you at?
You can find me everywhere at Lime
Okay.
on TikTok. Instagram, Facebook. If you go to limetreephoto.com, you can find all my stuff there. So I'm a big Instagram person, big Facebook person, and if Mark wants to, maybe soon we'll be on YouTube.
Uh-oh. I think I hear a little bit of homework. Okay, for Mark. Okay. Tell Kit. Tell. Oh, wait, say that again. Say that again.
Just kidding, I'll have to do it, but it's fine.
There you go. All right. Well, you know what? Never hurts. Okay. So with that said, folks, next week, let's talk photography. We will be having a special guest, and we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of running a studio and whether you should rent or buy, meaning run your own. So you definitely want to tune in next Thursday, 6 p.m., same place. Okay. On my channel. So make sure you press that like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow Tiffany. Tiffany, hold on 1 second. Don't go anywhere yet. And then make sure you go ahead and follow me on Facebook at Robert Silver Photography. I'm on Instagram at Robert Silver Photography. That's right. This microphone is picking me up, making me sound real good. And I'm on TikTok, Robert Silver Photography. And oh my God, yes, I'm right there with Elon Musk on Twitter at Robert Silver Photog. And like I said, I have a couple workshops. Go ahead, check them out. They're at robertsilverphotography.com. All right. So as always, okay, until next time, keep shooting and stay creative. Thank you for watching.